What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of NKU Sports Break. I'm your host, Carly Motzer, and I'm so excited to be joined by Jenna from Track and Cross Country. Jenna, how's your day going?
My day's been good. Carly, how are you doing?
Good. So just to get everybody kind of acclimated with each other, where are you from and what drew you to NKU?
So I'm from a suburb of Dayton, Ohio, a city called Centerville. And besides the obvious, coming to NKU for track, there was something about, I don't know what it was, but I kind of stepped on campus, and it was probably the fifth university that I had visited. And I just it became my method of comparison for everywhere else. I don't know why, some people are creeped out by the uniformity of the buildings, but I kind of liked it, the concrete jungle. I don't know what it was, but I was just walking around campus and I was like, oh, this place feels too good to be true. So I knew when I started comparing every other school to but NKU, that's how I kind of knew oh, that's probably where I should go.
There you go. When you know, it worked out. What did your recruiting process look like?
For me, it was a bit different. I was really unsure as to whether or not I wanted to do track in college. It kind of took me a while to figure that out. So when I did kind of decide, I just started reaching out to some coaches at the universities that I was interested in, because I had told myself yes, I would love to do collegiate track and field, but above anything else, I obviously have to choose a school that's going to have the program that I need and want, and the other qualifications academically that I'm looking for. So then once I figured out that NKU kind of fell into that, that group, I started reaching out to different coaches and just kind of went from there. So NKU was obviously one of the ones that had reached out back to me, and then we kind of went from there, I guess.
Perfect. And so obviously you've come a long way since being undecided about pursuing track collegiately. So how has the program changed or developed you since you started at NKU?
Oh, geez. NKU has been a whirlwind for me. When I came in, I was a thrower. So I just kind of threw, my specialty was the hammer. And then I also kind of threw shot and discus on the side, as well as the indoor weight. But then, hammer, I never got the opportunity to throw hammer. So I spent my first 2 years kind of throwing just some shot, discus, and the indoor weight. And then my junior year, I decided that I wanted to be a multi. So I decided I wanted to compete in the heptathlon and the pentathlon. And I'm very fortunate to have teammates and coaches that believed that I could make that happen. So, I just kind of had to put in the work. I lost 45 pounds, started doing all this crazy different training, and then so now I'm a multi. It's been cool because I was never bored of throwing. It's not that it ever it's not that I was ever disinterested in doing it, but I was just I feel I need something else. I need to start challenging myself. I want to grow as an athlete, and I feel just being a thrower wasn't doing that for me. So I was really fortunate that my coaches were kind of willing to take a chance on me kind of switching everything up. And so
That's incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What is your favorite part about being on the team?
Oh, geez. My favorite part about being on the team is, of course, my teammates and my coach, Paul. I mean, my teammates and I think I always say to myself, every year, oh, I feel so much closer to the team this year. I feel so much closer to this team this year. And now I'm at my senior year, and I'm oh my gosh, I love these girls so much. I just think that we have a really, really, really good dynamic, and we all, get along. We're all really good about being encouraging, and, understanding each other's goals and helping each other get there. So honestly, if it wasn't for them, and my coach Paul as well, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to get through some of the hard practices. So they make the bad days a lot better. So yeah, that's definitely my favorite part.
That's sweet. I like that. Is there a moment from last year that stands out to you, or anything that you've just had a really special moment with the team, anything like that?
Oh, yes, of course. So at my indoor conference meet last year, that was the first time I had ever competed in the pentathlon. So I had done all 5 events. And the last event, unfortunately for us, is the 800-meter run. So, you know, you're gassed. You've been working out for but like competing for like 5 hours at that point. And you get to the 800. I remember I'm on my last lap and I crossed the finish line and I just dropped to my hands and knees because, one, I was exhausted, and two, I was just super emotional because I was like, I didn't think I could do that. But when I was on my hands and knees, a bunch of my teammates and my coaches, they came over and they were shaking me like, you did it. And I'm like trying not to throw up all over them, but I'm like, I did it. Like, I did it. So I was like super excited. It was just really nice because they were all so excited to like see me and my other teammate who had just made that transition cross the finish line. And they were like so excited for us because they know that we both had worked like really, really hard to get there. So it was just, I don't know, that was my favorite moment for sure. Because it was just like a group of people you absolutely love and adore and who's literally been there every day through the training process is now, you know, coming to congratulate you and tell you like, hey, you actually did this. Like, that was you. And that was just like a really, really special moment.
No kidding. I can't imagine anything that would compare to that. I certainly could never do it. So all of the props to you. That is absolutely incredible. To go from that kind of high and then transition to obviously, you know, COVID coming into play and everyone's season's not looking like what they would usually be. So with fall sports being postponed this year, what have you and the team been up to? What's everybody working on?
So since I'm exclusively a track athlete, for the most part, practice and our schedule has remained like pretty normal. I mean, for cross country, it's a little different because their season is supposed to be moved to the fall, but the spring, but they kind of get the option as to whether or not they'll run indoor track and field or if they'll do cross country. I'm not really sure. I'm just hoping that, I think we're all just kind of hoping that some competition can happen in the spring. For the fall though, I mean, really all of our training has been, you know, pretty much the same. Cross country, they've just been, you know, doing their normal kind of fall workouts, but obviously with no meets. And then we've been doing our normal fall, you know, workouts like 20 hours a week, with lifting 3 times a week and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it seems pretty normal. Like in a world where normalcy seems so far-fetched, like practice so far has seemed relatively normal. So I think we're all just kind of like keeping our fingers crossed that we can, you know, get that in the spring as well. And I know that other sports are hoping for that too. So I'm hoping for them as well.
It's been crazy all across the board, everyone just trying to jumble and reschedule and get everything in, but I hope for your guys' sake it's nice that you can have that little bit of normal, like you said, when everything is just so up in the air all the time. At least that's what you guys have going on then. On a little bit of a switching gears, what do you enjoy most about being an athlete at NKU?
To be honest, like I think it's probably just like the community, like the athlete community. And I feel weird saying that because I don't want to like make it like a cliche or anything, but we truly all go through like a very different experience, just as I don't understand what a Greek life experience might be like. And I'm sure that obviously like heavily impacts people's college experience. Like athletics is like every single day. Like you're never not an athlete. Like even during like COVID when we're all at home, like I was never not an athlete because you have to think about, okay, what's next? Like how do I gear, if life was normal in August, like how do I gear up for that? Like, no, you can't stop training. So it's like having a community of people, including staff members that like are super encouraging and always, you know, ready to help whenever you need it. Like that's the best part about being an athlete at NKU. It's like it's like the department is big enough to feel like there's a lot of like, you know, diversity in a sense, like between the teams, but it's also small enough to feel like there's like, I don't know, kind of like a tight-knit group of people. And I think I really, really like that. Like I like knowing everybody's names, and like I like knowing that staff members know my name, and like I can, you know, go to them if I need something. Like, I don't know, I just think that that's probably the best part.
I think that's been my favorite part about like having the opportunity to talk to all of you guys is that every single athlete that I've talked to has talked about the family kind of sense of community that NKU fosters, and I think that's so cool to be a part of.
Yeah.
I love that for you guys. I know you're a senior, so the senior scaries are at an all-time high. So when do you graduate, and what are your plans after graduation?
So right now, expected grad in spring of 2021, knock on wood that I don't mess anything up. Um, After graduation, my idea is to go to grad school. I'd really like to pursue a career in collegiate athletics, like working for an athletic department. I worked for the NKU athletic department last year with the marketing team, and then this year I work with athletics development. And like I said, I really like the community and the environment of like college athletics and like what NKU has to offer. And I know that like other universities offer that as well. So, whether I do my grad school here or, somewhere else, I haven't decided yet. I also haven't even applied yet, but that's, that's to come, of course. But yeah, so, the goal is definitely grad school to get my master's, probably pursue my MBA, and then, we'll see what happens. Hopefully college athletics, a career in college athletics.
Well, that's going to make this next question a little tricky because you've had a bit of a unique experience with athletics, getting to see like all the different sides of it, both as an athlete and more of like an office person. But I'll end on a warm and fuzzy that I've asked everyone that's come on. What is your favorite NKU athletics memory?
Oh, I feel like that's a hard question. I think I already gave my answer away. That moment, I mean, that's like a little bit of like a selfish moment, I guess. But to be honest, like, I would say like I can't even really like pick just one memory, and I feel like that's a cliche thing to say as well. But like, to be honest, there have been track meets. I would specifically say Horizon League Outdoor Championships in 2018. Seeing some of my teammates like on top of the podium or cross the finish line first, like that was insane. Like 2 or 3 of my best friends placed first at that meet. Lindsay Shipley won the 400 meter dash as a freshman. Kayla Thompson won 100-meter hurdles, and I was literally at the finish line when she finished. We have this like picture of like me. My coach has a picture of like me like holding her, like she has her legs wrapped around me. Like I was so excited for her. And then like my other friend Bree, won the discus as a sophomore. It was just like overall like that meet specifically was like the best I'd ever seen my team compete, and it was just weird how we like all kind of just had this like not that we're not always like united as one kind of, but like there was just like a different kind of like morale in the air that day, or that weekend I should say. And it was just like, that was like the best feeling ever, because like I personally did not do well at that meet at all, but like that's not the point. I mean, of course I'd love to do well, but at the end of the day, watching my other teammates who have also really worked hard succeed and like, be on top of the podium or be on the podium at all, like it's like the best feeling, because you're just like, I've seen you every day train and work for this, like you earned it, so that's probably the best. Just watching your teammates, be successful, that has to be the best thing.
That's awesome. Well, Jenna, thank you so much for coming on the show. Everyone, make sure to give NKU Track and Field as well as NKU Norse a follow on social media to be able to see all of our NKU content as we move forward into our winter